We know that as we grow, the hurdles will be more. Each time we are washed away, we bounce back to the shore. We know we lead the way, keeping odds at bay. To see the sunrise tomorrow, inspire the world to follow. हम सीधे जहाँ GIS है हम ये है गुरुकुल हमारा.
Okay, so in our last class we have started module number 2 of the curriculum of electrical machine 1, and last class we have discussed construction and EMF equation of DC machines. Today we are going to discuss the armature reaction of DC machines, both for generator as well as motor. So the objective and outcome of today's lecture is to become familiar with the armature reaction of DC generator. So let's start lecture number 2 on armature reaction. Okay. So what is armature reaction? The effect of magnetic field set up by the armature current on the distribution of flux due to main poles of the DC machines is known as armature reaction. So the effect of field set up by armature current on the distribution of main field flux is known as armature reaction. Okay, so this is flux due to main pole. Okay, this is the north pole and this is the south pole, and this is my armature and these are my armature conductor. And look, this is in no load condition. That means the armature is not carrying any current, only the flux is exist right now due to the main pole. And we have considered here a bipolar DC machines for the illustration of armature reaction, and we have assumed that this armature is rotating in clockwise direction. So we should keep in mind this assumption that this is a bipolar machine and it is rotating in clockwise direction. Okay, now so right now it is in no load condition because there is no current flowing through the armature reaction. So the flux distribution is solely due to the MMF of main poles. So flux, we know, leaving the north pole and entering the south pole. So this is the flux distribution has been shown in the figure. Now the vertical dotted line, that midway between the north and south pole indicates the interpolar axis, and this is called quadrature axis. So this is the dotted line. So this is the dotted line and this is known as quadrature axis. Okay, and the horizontal line that passes through the central point, this is the horizontal lines that's passing through the central position of the two poles, is the polar axis, or this is called direct axis. So this is my direct axis, and this is my quadrature axis or interpolar axis, midway between the north and south pole. And any conductor on the armature surface lying along the plane or axis is under equal and opposite influence of north and south pole. Okay, so whatever conductor is there on the axis, it has an equal effect for both north pole and south pole, and therefore no EMF induced in the coil lying along the axis. So there is no induced EMF along the axis. So there is no induced EMF along the axis because the conductor has the similar effect both for north pole as well as south pole. Okay, and this axis is called magnetic neutral axis. So this is where there is no induced EMF along the axis. It is called magnetic neutral axis or MNA. So this is called magnetic neutral axis. Now this magnetic neutral axis is perpendicular to the axis of flux line. So this is basically perpendicular to the flux line. So if we see, this is the flux line or direct axis AP. So this is my MNA perpendicular to the flux axis. Okay, and the flux density is 0 along this axis. Now it is interesting to note that this axis or this plane also lie along the geometric neutral axis. So magnetic neutral axis at no load condition is coincide with geometrical neutral axis. So it is coinciding with GNA. So why this is geometrical neutral axis? Now along this axis, the machine is geometrically identical, mirror image on the left side, on the right hand side of the plane. Okay, so this is the geometrical neutral axis. Okay, so in this condition GNA is coinciding with MNA. Okay, for no load condition. Okay, and we have shown that vector OA, which is representing magnitude and direction of MMF, FP producing that main pole. Now we should may recall here that though the brushes are physically placed on the commutator, which we have discussed in our last class, along the polar axis, okay, so they are electrically connected to the armature conductor, and which is lying on the interpolar axis or magnetic neutral axis or the geometrical neutral axis. Okay, so hence if we show the waveform of flux density in the air gap due to main pole, so it will be like suppose this is my north pole. Okay, this is the magnetic neutral axis, and this is the south pole. So these are the conductor. Okay, so cross, so it should be dot, then it should be the dot. This is my cross. This is our basic concept of physics, that under North Pole, why this is cross and this is dot and this is dot and cross. Okay, now and this is the direction of rotation. This is the direction of rotation for machine. Okay, this is magnetic neutral axis, this is magnetic neutral axis. Okay, now so this is the waveform of flux density in the air gap due to main pole only. So this is the nature of flux density under a pair of pole. We have shown only the a pair of pole. Now flux line always leave the pole face perpendicularly. Since pole face profile is rounded, machine the circular armature periphery flux line crossing over the air gap approach towards the armature radially. Okay, so this is due to main flux only. Now this is the flux due to armature coil only. Now this is loaded condition. This is on loaded condition. That means the current is flowing through the armature winding. Now if we see in this figure, then the armature conductor is carrying current, and with the assumption that there is no excitation on the main pole. So there is, look, there is no excitation on the main poles. Now conductor lying under the same pole, so which is under north pole, it is carrying the same current in the same direction, and these currents are shown by dots under south pole and by cross under north pole. Now this armature current set up its own field. So this is own field, because for cross current, so for cross current this is my field, and for dot current this is my field. So for this current this is my field, for this cross current, for this cross current similarly. So if we look that main field flux is acting along this axis, so this is my main field flux. And if we look for cross current, the direction is this. For dot current, direction is this. So for only the armature current, the resultant direction in this way. So we can say this is the direction of armature MMF or armature flux. Okay. So now both the flux are acting simultaneously. So this is my OFM and this is my OFA. This is due to main flux only and this is due to armature flux only. So if this both flux acts, you see that the main field flux, when acting with the armature field flux, the resultant flux got distorted. And now this is my new MNA. So this is my resultant flux. Okay, so this is my resultant flux. So if we use our concept of vector, so we can resolve this FR into two components. One is FT, one is FC. So this component is directly opposing the main field flux, or it is trying to reducing the main field flux. So this is called distorting effect, and this FC is trying to cross magnetize the main field flux because it is in 90-degree position with respect to the main field flux. So armature reaction has two effects. One is called demagnetizing effect and another one is called cross magnetizing effect. So there are so many details which I am not discussing because in the syllabus you have only the concept of armature reaction. So I am giving the overall idea of armature reaction. Okay. So now for generator we have seen that there is a demagnetizing effect taking place in the air gap. Now due to reduction of this flux, EMF induced in the generator decreases with increasing load. So when we increasing the load, there is the increase in demagnetizing effect which will reduce the flux, and we know E equals to P phi Zn by 60A. So E is directly proportional to phi. So if phi is reducing, E will reduce, and with the increasing load current, armature flux, and hence the effect of armature reaction become more severe. And we have seen the magnetic neutral axis shift by the same angle along the direction of the rotation of the generator, because the distortion okay. Now these are the resultant flux line, and we know magnetic neutral axis always perpendicular to the flux line. So when previously it was in along this axis, because That time it was the resultant flux line, but now the resultant flux line has been shifted. So now this is the in 90 degree. So now this is my FR. So in 90 degree this will be my MNA in perpendicular position. So which means previously it was MNA along this axis, now it is shifted by some angle theta along the direction of the rotation. Okay, so that is what we have discussed, that magnetic needle is shifted by some angle theta along the direction of the rotation of the generator. So this is the reason, because now the resultant of the flux has changed. Now as the magnetic neutral axis change, so brass has to be shifted along the new magnetic neutral axis, otherwise there will be a sparking and they will short circuit the coil, which still have some induced voltage in them. Okay, so previously if we recall this figure, so the brushes are here only. Now the brass position will get changed, but there exists some induced voltage. Okay, so as a result there is a flow of heavy circulating current through the brass, and this will result in sparking at the brass commutator contact, and there will be a heating effect. So this is the detrimental effect of armature reaction. So as the brass is shifting and there exists some induced EMF, so there is a flow of heavy circulating current through the brass, and which cause sparking in the commutator brass segment contact, which will heat it up, and it can be possible the commutator and brass both get damaged. So this is my detrimental effect of armature reaction. Now to avoid this situation and to give sparkless commutation, the brass is shifted from GNA to MNA, so that previously it was here, but the MNA now shifted here. Okay, but if it is stay here, so there exists some sort of current which will induce EMF, and this EMF result in circulating current. So to prevent this, what we have to do, we have to shift the brass along this magnetic neutral axis. That means the brass axis should be shifted forward direction through some angle, in the clockwise direction in some angle for generator. Okay, keep that mind, it is for generator. Now another effect which I have shown, that this is my main flux, this is my demagnetizing effect, which is 180 degree position with respect to main flux, and there is a FC which is in 90 degree position. So that is my cross magnetizing effect. So that means heavy loading of the generator will cause a strong cross magnetizing armature reaction at the pole tips, which tends to increase the flux density at the trailing pole tip. So there is a, for generator, so again you keep that in mind, for generator there is a increase of flux density in the trailing pole tip, increasing of flux density in the trailing pole tip. So this is, there is basically two pole tip, one is called trailing pole tip, one is called trailing pole tip, and another one is called leading pole tip. Okay, so let me again go to that figure. So this is my trailing pole tip. So what is the definition of trailing pole tip and leading pole tip? Now, in the way of rotation of the armature, which pole tip it encounter first is known as leading pole tip, and which next to that leading pole tip is called trailing pole tip. So the armature is rotating in clockwise direction. So if it's rotating, this pole tip is encountered first. So this is leading pole tip, and which encounters second is trailing pole tip. Similarly, in the rotation, this is the leading pole tip and this is the trailing pole tip. And look, due to cross magnetizing effect, there is a increase of flux density in the leading pole tip. So in the trailing pole tip. So you see, in the trailing pole tip there is a crowding effect of flux, and there is a thinning effect in the leading pole tip. So this is also the cross magnetizing effect in details. Okay, so for concept only you should keep that in mind. Because of strong cross magnetizing effect of armature reaction, as a result of armature reaction at the pole tips, there is an increase in flux density at the trailing pole tip, and there is a thinning effect at the leading pole tip. The coil cutting the flux at the trailing pole tips will have abnormally high voltage induced in them. So as there is a crowding effect in the trailing pole tip, so flux is high, so there is a high induced EMF in the trailing pole tip, and this cause an increase in voltage difference between two adjacent commutator segment to which the ends of this coil are connected. And again, for this difference in voltage, a sparking may occur between the two adjacent commutator segment, and this process is cumulative and progressive, and if it continues, a ring of fire extending from the brass to brass and may appear on the commutator segment. So from one brass to another brass, it will spread and ultimately it will destroy the commutator segment because of the cross magnetizing effect and crowding effect in the trailing pole tip. Now for motor, similar overall demagnetizing effect of magnetic field takes place in the air gap due to armature. This causes speed of the motor to increase over its rated speed. Okay, because E equals to P phi Zn by 60A. Okay, so from here we can write down N equals to E into 60A by P phi Z. So N is proportional to 1 by phi. So speed is inversely proportional to the flux. So if there is a demagnetizing effect, flux is reducing, so speed will increase and it will cross the rated speed. The output power rating of the motor is directly proportional to its speed. So with the increase of speed, the motor tends to deliver higher output power, and while doing so, the motor draw more current from the supply, and this increasing amount of current while passing through the armature may cause severe armature reaction, and hence the speed will tends to increase further, and this process is again cumulative. So DC motor under loaded condition will tends to attain extremely high speed and may become unstable. So as N is proportional to 1 by phi, due to demagnetizing effect, phi is reducing, So n is increasing, speed is increasing, and it will crossing the rated speed. So and we know power equals to torque into omega angular speed, which is again 2 pi n. So if the speed is increasing, so power is also increasing. So the power is again is equals to V into I. So when it is possible, so it will start carrying more current from the supply. So the armature is current, what was previously it was increasing. So again with the increase of current, what will happen? The armature effect, demagnetizing effect will increasing. So this will again reduce the phi, it will again increasing in, and this is cumulative process, and the DC motor will achieve extremely high speed and it will become unstable. Okay. And now the cross magnetizing effect in motor. So there is a crowding of flux occur at the leading pole tip. Now it is in leading pole tip. So for generator, the crowding effect occur in the trailing pole tip. But for motor, the crowding of flux occur at the leading pole tip, and weakening of flux takes place at the trailing pole tip, because in case of motor the rotation got changed. So in case of generator, the MN is shifted along the direction of the rotation, but for motor the resulting field shifted against the direction of the rotation of the motor. The resultant flux is thus shifted along the direction of the against the direction of the rotation of the motor. The magnetic neutral axis, which is always perpendicular to the resultant field flux, thus also moved backward with respect to the direction of rotation. So for generator, this was my direction of rotation, so MN is shifted along the direction of rotation. For motor, it is shifted backward. So for motor, this will be my new MNA. So thus in motor it is necessary to shift the brushes backward, and that is again the direction of rotation of the motor. Direction of the rotation of the motor. So in which direction the motor is rotating. So which again increasing the load. So with the increasing of load, again this armature reaction effect will increases, and this will a cumulative process. Now for both motor and generators, which is happening? Armature reaction strengthening of one pole tip and weakening of flux under the other pole tip. For generator, strengthening occur in the trailing pole tip, but for motor it is occur in leading pole tip. But it is occur in one pole tip, strengthening of occur in one pole tip and weakening occur in other pole tip. The increasing in iron loss due to increase in the flux density, because iron loss, that means eddy current loss. Iron loss is consist of eddy current losses and hysteresis losses. And these losses, if you see the equation, which I am not discussing right now because this is the concept part only, it is directly proportional to the flux density B. Okay, and B equals to phi by A. So as the iron loss is increasing due to increase in flux density under one half the pole arc is more than the decrease in the other half on the pole half. So where there is a strengthening effect, iron loss is increasing, and where there is a weakening effect, in that particular pole arc there is a decrease of iron loss. The effect is that iron losses in the pole shoe region is more under loaded condition than under no load condition. So when the motor is loaded condition, the iron loss in the pole shoe region increase, and if the loss increase, it will reduce the efficiency of the machine. So it is not desirable to us. Okay. In addition, since armature reaction by distorting the field form increases the maximum flux density considerably above the no load value, iron losses particularly in the teeth are greater on load than on no load. Further, due to higher degree of saturation of the teeth, some flux line leaks out to the link with end plates, shafts and other nearby metallic object. So in the teeth area, the iron losses is higher because of the distortion of field form, and as a distortion of field form, there is a increase in magnetic flux density. So if flux density increase, so it will saturate that area. Okay, and the teeth area is get saturated, and if it is get saturated, the leakage flux will increase. Okay, but which is not desirable because it should be confined within the magnetic circuit. Okay. Now this adds up the total iron loss to strike eddy current losses taking place in those nearby metal objects where of the leakage flux links. So demagnetizing effect of cross magnetic field reduce the total flux per field pole at the air gap due to magnetic saturation at the pole tip. This causes reduction in EMF in generator and reduction in torque developed in motor under loaded condition. So if we are seeing in the teeth area, the iron loss is increasing, and because of crowding effect in one pole tip and weakening effect in another pole tip, there is an overall increase of iron loss in the pole shoe. So as a result, this is a cumulative effect. So the total iron loss adds up. It is goes on increasing. Then the stray eddy current loss. Okay. So what happened? As the iron loss is increasing, the flux per pole field at the air gap due to magnetic saturation of the pole tip. So this is my pole tip. This is my pole tip. The armature is here. So what will happen? The flux which is producing in this field winding and from pole shoe perpendicular entering to the armature through air gap is reduced, and this reduction of flux will causes reduction in EMF in generator and torque in motor under loaded condition. So what can be done in order to compensate this reduction in total flux? The strength of the main poles need to be enhanced, and this require more number of turns in the field winding. That means thicker conductor is required. Then only it can carry more current, and if it is carrying more current, as it is an electromagnet, the strength will increase. So both the two option of augmenting the main pole strength, however, increase the cost of field winding. So ultimately the cost will increasing because we require more copper. Also we need space, so it will become bulky also. So what can be done to reduce this armature effect, to compensate this armature reaction? We can use interpoles or commutating poles. Okay, in details we will discuss later. Okay, increasing the air gap length, reducing the area of iron at the pole tips, and use of compensating winding. So we are not going to discuss how this is compensating the armature reaction, because this is the concept of armature reaction. But in my later classes I am going to discuss interpole and compensating winding. So this is all about armature reaction. So these are the reference. You can also use the book by Ashfaq Hussain and Dr. Purkait, Oxford publication. Also you can use online material like SlideShare, Course Guru, Wikipedia, and so on, to mention a few. And this is the end of today's class. Thank you.